Welcome to the January 27th, 2020 meeting of the Auburn Board of Selectmen. As per the open meeting laws, I request if there's anybody recording this meeting tonight. Being none, can we all stand and salute our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we've got a whole line of people for public comments tonight, so we'll just pass that one right along. We do have a public hearing tonight from the Mid-State Auto Group, and I'll entertain a motion to open a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Do we have representatives? Please, would you come forward? Would you care to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you've got planned?
I'm Ray Butler, Raymond Butler, and I have Mid-State Auto Group in Auburn. We've been operating here in this wonderful town for 14 years, and we've been operating a Class 2 license, sales and service, and we're looking to upgrade to a Class 1 dealer license. I have an opportunity to obtain a Mitsubishi franchise, and we're looking to put that over at 810 Washington Street.
What other than you've got your Class 2, so what is the Class 1 going to entail for you? Is there going to be additional, are there going to be additions to the building or to the operation?
There is going to have to be additions. We're going to have to add on a showroom. It'll be a two-car showroom. I've had architects and engineers come out and look at it, and Mitsubishi, they have their own engineers and architects that come out and inspect it, and it has to meet their approval. So I do have some drawings for that. They're going to give me a year to work on that, and I think they're pretty flexible if it ends up, being longer than that, but I do have some plans.
Okay, 'cause we do have some drawings here in front of us of some of the work that you have planned to do. Have you approached the DCG from Auburn?
I went for the meeting a
Okay.
couple of weeks ago, and there's not going to be any changes at this time. What I plan on doing is, once I get the franchise agreement signed, I do have a letter of intent here. It's unofficial, it's not signed yet. There should be one signed within the next couple of days that I can bring down, but I can give you the letter that I do have, and there are some specifications on there as to what they're looking for, but they're looking for a 1,250-foot showroom out front, and an additional bay for customers to drive in where they don't have to get out of their car in order to get service. They can drive inside where it's comfortable, and a porter will tend to them. So I do have plans for that. We're not going to have to do anything to the lot. The lot's going to stay the same. And I have some additional storage down the street at 889 Washington Street, so I do have a lease on that as well.
Anything else? Yes, Mrs. Goodrich.
Is the 889 the location we previously approved for the used cars?
I did have, yes, at one
So
time.
that'll just be storage?
Just storage.
And I know it's kind of, in the business you're in, you need our approval to move forward with the Class 1 to have that licensure, so you're just here just to get our approval so you can take the next steps?
Yep, I want to get the Class 1. I should have a dealer agreement completed within the next 1 to 2 weeks. And at that time, I can start selling vehicles. There's no limitations on what I can do right now, but they do want over a 12-month period for me to be able to put this showroom on over there. So I will have to go see the DCG and move forward with plans on that. And I think I'd like to start the construction process probably May or June, because it's going to be a 5 or 6 month process. So I want to get on that fairly early, I think.
Well, what the DCG, the memorandum we have here, it says you'll obtain all your necessary permits and inspections from the town departments boards, and commissions. And then also that all permits are up to date with the fire department.
Yeah,
Then also, you shall obtain any necessary sign permits from the
yes,
building.
of course.
So
Yep.
you're aware of all of what's going to be done in order for you to continue through with this?
Yes, so with that, when I do put the signs up, we'll come down for the sign permit. As far as the fire inspection and everything, I think I'm up to date on that, unless anybody knows different on that. Is there, I think I'm all up to date there. Yeah, was there another one?
No, it was just the sign permits
Yeah.
from the building department.
Yes, okay.
And then the fire department permits, and then
Yes.
from, you've come to the board now, but any of the town departments or commissions that have anything to do with the land and what
course.
you plan to do there.
Anything I need to do, yes. We go to the town first.
Is there anything else? Mrs. Goodrich?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm guessing your next stop will probably be the planning board, so you won't be back before us. So as I've taken the opportunity when it's needed, I just want to let the board know, and I'm sure you're all familiar with him, Midstate Auto has been an amazing community partner. They've been generous to the community, supporting lots of nonprofits, especially the youth, the schools. They have an excellent reputation in town, and I'm excited for them if they do move forward with this venture, because they certainly are the type of business we like to see in town.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mrs. Goodrich. Has anybody got anything else?
Motion to close.
Before we do, are there any abutters? I have a list here in front of me of the abutters that were notified, and by the looks, we don't have anybody in front of us tonight. So if anybody got anything else? Have you got anything else before we close?
I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Carpenter?
Motion to close.
Second.
All right. Motion to close the hearing is seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the license, provided that all of applicable requirements of the state and town, and its departments, boards, and commissions have been fulfilled. Said license is subject to all conditions stated upon it. Failure to comply with any and all conditions shall invalidate the license and render it null and void, with the condition of the DCG to be placed upon it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Goodrich?
I just will make one additional comment, because you're a hugely successful business in Auburn, but you're also a family-based business, and your family is here to support you. So thanks, Bree and Sue, for being here and being a part of Auburn.
Thank you, Mrs. Goodrich. So the motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for
Appreciate it.
coming
Good to see you, Julie. Thank you.
Okay. We have no communications tonight. The general items, we have gift acceptances. And let's see. And we have no gift acceptances tonight. All right, next, we have proclamations and recognitions. We have a request for an Eagle Scout proclamation from Boy Scout Troop 53, the Assistant Scout Master.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we issue a proclamation based on the letter submitted from the Boy Scout troop for Mr. Sam Elwell, who is due to get his Eagle Scout rank this coming May.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have town manager items. Request of the executive director of the Senior Center Elder Affairs for board vote to declare surplus property.
Thank you very
Ms.
much.
Jacobson.
Yes, through the chair, the Senior Center Director is requesting the board approval to declare a surplus an old organ and piano, both of which were donated to the Senior Center well over 30 years ago. And a repairman was asked to come in and look at it and give an estimate, and just said that the pedals that were broken on the piano would be very expensive to replace. No one has actually been using that piano. It would be very expensive to replace, almost better to get a new one at this point if we did need one. Most of the entertainment that comes in now brings their own sound system and equipment generally. There's also an organ there that has not been used in many years. It's just sitting there. We are trying to find additional space, as you know, at the senior center to allow for expanded programming, and it would be helpful to get these items that really are just sitting there out of the way. They can be advertised when we sell surplus equipment through DPW. We usually do it a couple times a year. You have an item that's following this one to declare an additional piece of equipment from DPW. So that equipment's generally kept at DPW until we have enough to put things out to auction.
But we can handle them together, or we can handle them individually, whichever the board cares to do.
I would make a motion that we declare the items outlined in Ms. Boulet's memo as surplus property.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then from Ms. Jacobson, from DPW Director Bill Coyle, to declare a 2000 trackless MTV multi-purpose tractor as surplus property.
Correct. Through the chair, as we always do, we come in with equipment that no longer can be repaired or used. We do have, through our fleet maintenance department, they will strip any usable parts from any of our vehicles before we put them out for surplus. And again, this is similar to the situation with the senior center.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we declare the property outlined in Mr. Coyle's memo as surplus as requested.
Second.
Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. We have no tabled items and the Board of Selectmen member items. This is...
Excuse me.
Oh,
Sorry, we missed 6C.
oh, I'm sorry. The CMRPC District Location Technical Assistance Grant. And vote to authorize and accept the grant. Ms. Jacobs.
Thank you. Every year, we have the opportunity to apply for technical assistance through the CMRPC, through the DLTA program, which is funded by the state. And it's usually focused on some type of planning. Obviously, it's a planning agency. So we did put in a request for Goddard Park conceptual redesign, and we just found out, I believe Friday afternoon, that we are going to be getting this. So the value of it is approximately $19,000. Basically, what we're hoping to do is working with CMRPC to help us come up with some conceptual designs for improving Goddard Park. We've talked a lot about it. We've talked about how it ties into the Drury Square plan, the Economic Development Plan, and the Master Plan. And before we make any recommendations on funding or improvements to be made to the park, we thought it would be best to look at it as a whole park and see what we can do, engage the public in that discussion, and come up with a plan that then we can move forward and identify potential grant sources or other funding sources.
Anybody got any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we vote to authorize and accept the grant from CMRPC, District Location Technical Assistant Grant. Second.
So the motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Now, Selectmen member items. I have put in a request from, and I would like to ask Town Administration to provide a summary report on public safety donations. It seems as though we collect a lot of donations for the police, the fire departments, the public safety, just to, and what I would like to do is get a summary of maybe how much they have and what they are actually using it for. It's just something I think that the public would like to know. I mean, they do donate quite a bit, and we, of course, here have accepted a lot of it. So just over the course of the time that I've been here, we've collected quite a bit. So I'm just kind of curious as to what it's used for and who benefits and how that works. I'll leave it up to the board to see what, Mrs. Goodrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm speculating here. Are you referring to the items that say, like, fire department gift account or fire department police account, not things that have already been designated use?
Right, if it's been designated, it has to go as a
Okay.
typical over grant, but anything that's going to a general account as for, gifts or what have you, just donations to the departments, just to see exactly what they do with it and what they have actually gotten from it in the past. Mrs. Goodrich.
Thank you. And how far back? Are you looking to do a look back?
I don't know, it's a summary report, so I don't think we have to go back too far. I mean, they should have just kind of a quick report of what kind of things that they do, how they benefit the departments, and that's about it. Because it's just as an informational type of thing, just as kind of a summary of, well, this is what we use it for. We buy books, we buy, there's different equipment, there's things that we do for the fire and the police officers. It's just a quick, brief summary of what they do and where it goes. Mr. Carpenter.
I guess I was going to call you because I was kind of surprised at the request, but I would definitely like a time frame on it because I think we want to be as clear as possible to town administration and also be mindful of the time that it might take. Are you looking for 2 years? Are you looking for just the last year? What is it, I guess?
Well, it's been, like I say, I've been here for 8 years myself. Mrs. Goodrich will be a little bit more than that. So we have been here, but if, I don't think it'd be out of line to, in the past 5 years, to take a look and see what they've had a chance to use and how the benefits the departments. My thought.
I would support going back 3 years. I think that's reasonable to see what they've been doing with it, even 2 years. And then if there's things in there that you might want more information about, I would certainly support going further, but...
Well, understand, I'm not questioning what they do, how they do it. I'm just saying that there's been so many people that have donated over the course of time that they've had an ambulance respond, the fire truck has come to help them out with a smoke detector, there's been something that they've received services, and they give a donation, so it just, what do they use it for? And 2 or 3 years is fine with me if that be the case.
I'm not sure.
Does anybody else got any ideas or comments?
I just will say that I think it's a pretty interesting idea. I'd like to, out of curiosity, I think it was a good idea to suggest it. And I wouldn't mind going back 5 years, but depending on if it's easier or would be too time-consuming to go back that far, then I guess they can limit themselves to 2 years. So. Okay. But yeah, I don't think 5 years is too much of a stretch.
Okay. Anybody got anything else? Well, I guess in order for this to go forward, it's, we should have a motion on the floor to request the administration to do that. Otherwise, move on to our next item.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we request a summary report going back 2 years for donations to public safety agencies and to inquire as to how much and what they have, how that's helped their mission, or how it's been used to support their mission.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Mrs. Goodrich?
Just for clarification, we're talking specifically just police and fire?
Yes. Does anybody got anything else?
Well, that would still include EMS.
I have a question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, through the chair. I just want to clarify, you're talking 2 years. Are we talking 2 fiscal years? Because we won't have,
Yeah.
if you could clarify that and make the motion for the past 2 fiscal years, because we're in the middle of a fiscal year now, so we won't have close out any documents, so we'd have to do FY 18 and 19.
Okay.
I will amend my motion to include
Thank you.
fiscal year,
Okay.
2 fiscal years.
And Mrs. Goodrich? Will you second that?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? And
Yep.
Thank you, Sharon. So the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And then, again, I put on a reminder about the Board of Selectmen goal to work on the board policies. I think that's something that we should all look at, but I think it was myself and Mrs. Goodrich, we were talking about the entertainment policies, but we'd like to have input from the whole board, so if we could do that for probably the next meeting or the following meeting, that'd be great. We'd have some input and move along with this. Just as a reminder, has anybody got anything else? Ms. Jacobs? Oh, I'm sorry. Tristan?
I just wanted to say that over the weekend, I had the opportunity to judge the Auburn High School in the We the People competition, and I just
Great.
wanted to congratulate them on coming in third this year. So that's
Awesome. And it's, just to follow up on that, I did that last year, and I'm actually impressed with what the students have learned and how they present themselves, and it's definitely a feather in our cap for the Auburn school system that they've done so well. And you see the recognitions at the high school every once in a while, and they are doing a great job, and so it's a great thing, and thank you for mentioning that. Has anybody got anything else? No, we didn't make it a record tonight, but, Ms. Jacobson, have you got anything?
I do not, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I don't know if this lady is...
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, there's public comments now, would you?
I got a notice in the mail about a zoning near my house. I'm a little bit late, so I don't know if you'd already discussed that.
Would that be regarding the car dealership?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've already voted that license through, and they've still got some work to do. They're going to be doing a little bit of an addition.
It wasn't zoning, though.
No, it wasn't zoning, I'm sorry. This is just for the board for their license. And they have some work to do ahead so that the planning board, zoning board of appeals, they will go through the process.
I
And
just want to know what they're doing, because they're there.
okay, can,
I can, if you want me to summarize it.
yeah, would you please?
Yeah, through the chair, I'm happy to. The dealership has primarily had a Class 2 license, which means they sell used vehicles. They have an opportunity to now sell some new vehicles. I believe the dealership was
Mitsubishi.
So they're seeking, that means they need another license. So they, in addition to a Class 2 license to sell used vehicles, they need a Class 1 license from the board to sell new vehicles. Once they get that, they can go back to Mitsubishi and work with them to incorporate car sales of new cars through Mitsubishi. Right now, they are intending to come back to the planning board for some plans in the near future to add, I believe they said, a 2-car showroom, a very small showroom that would be required, but they have not started that process yet. They needed a license first. And the board approved the license 4-1. Excuse me, 4-0. I'm sorry, with one not here. That's what I meant to say. So it was unanimous. Yeah. So that's part of the board's, part of the requirement is the applicant to the board for any license has to notify abutters within a certain area, so that's why you got the notice. And if you have any questions moving forward, don't hesitate to call our office. We're happy to answer them.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Okay, now, is there anything else? Being none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you, and good night.